Welcome back, ladies, to Manifest Mondays. Me and Lucretia, which is Lucretia Thomas and Christine James, we're so excited that you are here again. We hope that last week was super valuable and you're back again to hear about how to get excited about your why again after disappointment and discouragement. And we're so excited because we really want you to show up in a powerful way and that you are powerful and how you are going to make a difference in your family and your community. And who knows, we all might work together. So we just want you to be getting excited about, what you want to do. We talked a little bit about purpose last time, and we're really going to be digging in that today. So, Lucretia, take it away.
Yeah, so oh man, I can't, it's so much that I want to talk about surrounding this. We are women in business, um, and women are, I know from the conversations I've been having, people's sales has been lacking. People have been losing themselves, business hasn't been thriving. Also from the relationship standpoint of it, not really, it's not really what you thought it was or what you want it to be. So I think that even from both sides of it, right? The business is going to thrive and feel fuel off of us, right? And the relationship, the same thing. It's going to thrive and fuel off of us as well. And what we put into it, we don't have control over the other people. We could relate it from a sales standpoint or relating it from a friendship standpoint as well, or relationship. Um, so that's why it's so super important to just always make sure self, you know what I mean? And not, we talked about the fear of emotions. If you feel like you've put in your everything into your business, not, oh, I'm working it 1 hour a day, oh, I gotta go to work and I still got the kids. Okay. Okay, but 1 hour a day is not your all. If that's you, don't say you put in your all because you're not. But if you wholeheartedly feel like I'm putting 3 hours a day in Monday through Friday, I'm utilizing half of my Saturday, I'm staying up a little bit later. If you really feel like you're putting all your all into your business and it's not, you feel like it's not doing what you wanted it to do, or like, gosh, this is not my dream, I planned for this to be so bigger, it's going to always go back to self, right? Because you have to believe in timing. You have to believe that some things may just not be for you. So it's many different things that can come from, Chris. I know you would agree. If the business isn't thriving, if your life isn't going how you want it to be, or you're like, I didn't expect this, it's going to always go back to self. So
Absolutely.
yeah. I feel like it's going to always go back to self. And I'm really big on, we have no control over nobody but ourselves. So that's why I feel like even for, women, if you're thinking about going into business, maybe you're not in business right now, I feel like for those women, it's super, super, super important, if you're not in the game yet, to really make sure you build massive discipline while you're self-developing. Because once you step into this game, you want to remove the expectations. You want to dream big and know that it's going to do this, but you also have to mentally be prepared, Chris, that if that doesn't happen, it's not going to be your end all be all.
Absolutely. So I think even with that, the acronym I made up that I look at when we talk about purpose of like where you're going, because your purpose may be to start a business. And before I give you this acronym, I really want to explain something to you. This is something that I actually teach in a master class and it shifts people's perspective drastically. And you're already in business. You're already in business. And what I mean by that, yes, at your 9 to 5, you have one company you're working with, even though it's many people you're probably working with and serving. If you're doing customer service, if you're working for the government, working in healthcare, patients, and things like that, you are working with one business. You're giving your time and energy for one business, but you're working with 40 hours. It's actually 40 hours plus because you're getting ready to work, commute to work. You just don't get paid for that time frame.
Mhm.
So you're already in business, but if you want to accumulate millions and accumulate like a wealth and freedom that's unique to you, remember, success is not um everyone wants the same thing. That's not true. We all want different things. We desire different things, and that's what makes us unique as well.
Yep.
But it's getting clear that, hey, I do want to, admitting, right? That's why you have to heal in your emotion area, but actually admitting this is what you want, not being afraid to say this is what I want, and then building that other stream of income. So when we talk about like why we're doing what we're doing, the acronym I like to use is what has you. What has you? That is why. What
I love
has you?
that.
What is gripping on you so tight that's making you move forward, and helping other people? So, is something you actually going to be passionate about, or what pisses you off? A lot of
Yeah.
radical changes happened in the past. Harriet Tubman is popping up in my head right now because of that movie. I've referred to it before. But what has her is she wanted to see other people free. But actually, what had her first was her to go back and free her husband. When she went to go back and
Mm,
free her husband, he was with someone else. And she was like, why would God tell me to come back? But as soon as she lifted her head up, because she was feeling downcast, as soon as she lifted her head up, she looked over and she looked at all those people that needed to be free. And she's like, "Oh, this is why I'm here." So sometimes I feel like God uses something familiar to get you to where you need to go and you need to pivot. So when Lucretia says, like, if this is not it, it's not the end all be all, you have to understand there's little things that is going to have you step outside your comfort zone, but you may be baited by something that you're familiar with, because sometimes we go into complete shock if we're fully uncomfortable. Some of us can handle it, you know,
yes, 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 yes.
but I think the biggest thing is just getting really clear about what you're passionate about or what pisses you off. You tired of seeing the streets dirty, you're tired of seeing people's lawns crazy, and you're like, well, I know they need a lawn service, and that's something I'm
Right.
really passionate about. Or I really get pissed off because I'm tired of HOA, blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is, you have to understand it has to hold you so tight that you can't even, it's a thought that's usually not trying to get out of your mind. It's something you're constantly chewing on and meditating on.
I love that so much. I love that so much. I definitely agree with that. I'm trying to think in my mind, what was it for me? Something I love or something that pissed me off? And I think it was a mixture of both, but I think mostly what pissed me off because it was mostly I've seen a lot. And really what keeps me fueled into today is those visions in my mind growing up of what I didn't want to be. And I tell my son this all the time. You know, he's getting out, being around grown men and experiencing all these things. And he's like, Mom, like, these guys 30, 40 years old, why they doing this? And why is this like this? And he's 18 with such a huge brain, but because he was raised different, so he don't really understand a lot of things, but it's really great for him at this learning curve to know and experience, like, hey, people really live like this. Like, this is what people are really doing. So I always tell my son, like, just pay attention and learn the lessons of what you don't want to do. Or if you see something like, oh, I really like that. I think I can, that you grasp to, oh, wow, I really want to do this. But for me, what thrived, and I hope that this would be beneficial for a lot of other women as well. It may not be a lot of great things in your life. You may not be surrounded by someone you can look up to or someone who has something really dope going on that you can see yourself doing. You may not have that, but whatever it is that you have at the current moment, either it's a good side or bad side, like Chris said, you can leverage it both ways. Because if you're around a lot of heartache and pain, you're going to know, like, hey, in your mind, I don't want this. I don't want to live like this. I don't want to raise my family with this. Like, I don't want to be that old bitter person or whatever the case may be. You can learn something either way. And you got to really take action with it though, because I can honestly say until this day, um, it's a lot of things that I'm like, and then through all of the tears and the hard work and the roller coaster ride of being an entrepreneur, I'm at a point where, wow, I'm really glad I went through this side of figuring out who I am and what I wanted, because now I can look back at those same scenarios and those people are in the same place. And then you could think to yourself, you have to say to yourself, it really was worth it. So Even if it's a piss me off place, like Chris said, leverage it. Don't let it eat you up every day, but leverage it. And always having to make that be, if that's not the smallest thing that make you get up every day, just keep grinding, whatever that case may be. Let that be it if it needs to be the fuel. You don't have to, if it's your babies, you look up at them, you wake up and with them every morning, and you have the smallest thing in your mind of what you don't want to be like, that thing that pisses you, right? Make it fuel you rather than let the pain bring you down so much.
Absolutely. So there's a few things that kind of um like really solidify this point. So Robert Kiyosaki, we're going to talk a little bit more about um his book in actually next Monday, when we talk about money. But the one thing I wanted to say is that he said that your dreams is a list of wants and don't wants. That is what makes up your dream. You're like, "I don't wanna experience this, but I do wanna experience this. I don't wanna live like this person, but I do wanna do this." So that's really important to know. Jim Rohn also talks about, like, what is your point of being disgusted? He
Yes,
was disgusted when he had to lie to a Girl Scout
yes,
that he
yes,
already had
yes.
cookies in the house. That was his rock bottom, and Lucretia's mentioned this before about we all have different versions of rock bottom, but is you getting clear, like, what is your disgusting point? Like, when are you gonna be fed up of
Mm,
living like this, and then let that part fuel you, or what you're really passionate about seeing more in the world. I want to see more personal development in schools because I didn't have that. I want them to teach more financial literacy in school, and that's why I'm starting this company so I can go into schools and actually teach kids so they can get ahead in life and be empowered by money instead of feeling like, so again, we're talking about money next time, but that was just an example that I'm using. And then the other part is like The Rock, he is fueled from his companies. He made multi companies. He got very clear what he wanted. He said that he wanted to be big as Will Smith. I don't know if he'll still keep that comment because he's actually bigger bigger than that. But he wanted to be big
his
as Will
story is
Smith at that
amazing
point.
too, not to
It
cut you
is.
off. Yeah, I love his
It
story
is.
too. Love it. His story is really, really amazing.
And he thought he was gonna be bringing in millions and everything through football, but he had to pivot because he got cut. He got injured, then he got cut, and he just shows that how he spiraled. And the same thing about your thoughts, and then how he bounced back and became so resilient. And we all get to enjoy him on the screen because he is funny, and I do like all his movies. Um, but what I'm trying to say is that getting clear about what is it you want. Okay. And then getting clear about the pathway, because again, the pathway may change. That destination may change. You're still going to get to that. If you say, "Hey, I want to be a multimillionaire. Actually, I want to bring, six figures in each year. I want to bring in 10,000 each month." You can have that. But it may be, you have to be flexible enough that it may pivot. You may have to pivot, it may change course, but that doesn't mean that you still don't show up and give your all, like Lucretia said. You still want to give your all. And 1 hour a day, just to develop the discipline, but a couple months from now, you shouldn't be at 1 hour a day still. When you're developing a habit, it's just you showing up. It may be 15 minutes, it may be 20 minutes until you develop that habit, and then to get in there, and then finding that healthy harmony and balance with that too. And that's something that we'll definitely talk about because that does happen in entrepreneurship where you're just showing up all in your business. I know I've done that. And then you kind of neglecting other stuff because you're like, no, no, I got to keep working. But there's a way
Ooh,
that you have to know that you put your work in and trust. So we'll
yeah.
definitely talk about that. But the biggest thing is that you getting excited about why you're doing what you're doing. What is the benefit of this happening and how this is going to turn out? And ladies, if you're enjoying this conversation, please like and subscribe and share this with a
Yeah.
friend. Okay, because this is really good. We need to get stirred back up and not putting our dreams on the back burner and saying we're going to wait until after the kids are bigger. Oh, after this job, after I earn so much money, after I pay this off, then I'm going to go do this. No, you can do those things if you're having that desire now. Get excited about it. Get excited. That means you're just thinking about meditating on one happy benefit that's going to come. When I start earning this, I'll be able to, spoil my parents or spoil my auntie who raised me or spoil my grandma who raised me. And that will put a time crunch on you as well.
So get excited about life now and make sure you subscribe to our channel. Make sure you are being notified when we're online so you can catch us every single Monday for Manifest Monday. Don't miss out. This thing has been really good. Leave us a comment too and let us know, are you enjoying this conversation or what it is you want to hear us talk about? Because we're going to go all in. So if you're here and you're like, girl, I'm really feeling this, make sure you subscribe and come back with us every single Monday.
Yes, and the biggest takeaway from this call today, remember, what has you? Take some time to meditate on that. What has you? If it's something that pisses you off, something you're passionate about, write that down. Write a list of things that piss you off, right? It may be that, oh, you're seeing, maybe you're a teacher and you seeing kids come in not doing their work, they're feeling like clouded in their mind and they're like, and you're seeing that they're not dressed properly, right? Maybe that's something that pisses you off. What is something that what you can do differently? Oh, well, I could start like a drive at school, or that may be like the first thought. Just act on that first thought, because why get a whole list and you're not even going to implement on the first thing on the checklist?
Right.
Implement on the first thing that's coming to you. You're not in control of the results. That's very important. So, just like a seed, you plant it, you don't say, oh, only one rose is going to grow from the seed. No, a whole bush may be growing
Or grow.
from that, but you're not responsible for that. You're responsible to plant the seed, and then what's going to happen in that soil could be even is going to be exceedingly more than what you even imagine and hope for. So just understand that that's going to happen. That's just part of life. But you just got to show up and do that one step. So take a step today. Take a step this week. Schedule it for Wednesday. Schedule it for Thursday. Take this time to write down your list. What pisses you off? What gets you excited? And maybe, hey, I like theme parks. Hey, I like watching movies. I know for a while Netflix was actually hiring people, and I looked and I didn't see it anymore, but Netflix is actually hiring people to view movies.
Wow.
Maybe you like stuff like that, and maybe you could be a movie buff. Maybe you like to eat. And you're like, oh, that's no one will pay me for that. For real? Because that's a job. You could be a food
Yeah.
blogger, go around, try different restaurants, and get tax deductions because that's part of your job. But you properly log in that. So there's a whole thing. Just don't brush it off. Okay, like no one would pay me for that. Write it down. Stop overthinking it. Write it down and then just take action. So we're so excited that you were here. We
Yeah.
look forward to talking to you next week because we'll be talking about Monday, something
Yes,
that a lot of
we
people are uncomfortable
will.
to talk about. Lucretia, did you want to close anything out with that?
No, I just want to I just want everybody to implement on their goals, write some things out, like Chris said, start to take action. And we look forward to seeing you to have the money conversation because that's another thing that I know you're not really comfortable with. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and stay tuned because we have lots more to come.
Yes, bye.